Hi, this is Pete May, co-founder of GreenBiz Group, and I'm excited to be here today with Carl Prins, who is the co-founder and CEO at Pathzero. And I'm here in California today. Carl, you're joining us in lovely Sydney, Australia. Is that right?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes,
Yeah,
lovely day here.
that's great. Yeah, so as we record this, we've recently concluded GreenFin. Obviously, it's an event focused on really capital markets and the critical role that they play in the transition to net zero. Um, and Pathzero is a SaaS platform designed specifically to help private market investors manage their financed emissions. So, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So we deal with the carbon management for portfolios of companies and companies individually. And that is an issue that has hit all capital market participants, whether they're unlisted private businesses, listed companies, and also, on the LP side, from institutional investors to other forms of private markets. So we try to make that process really easy for them.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about the private market investors. What challenges they're facing with their obviously they're trying to align their portfolios with the Paris Agreement. What challenges they're facing, and what role does technology play in that change?
Well, it's difficult to come by the information that you need to truly work out what's going on and to start to actually manage the process. One of the key issues that we have is the multiple layers of ownership that you face. You may not have that direct holding. It
Mm.
might be via another manager or via another fund. And how do you essentially connect through all those layers to gather the information you need about emissions? And that's really just the start for baselining. When you actually have that data, how do you start working with the portfolio to start to be Paris aligned in your portfolio?
Yeah, that's it. That's interesting. And so the solution you came up with, you have this new product, Path Zero Navigator. You're running right now. You're running a pilot with organizations. One of them you mentioned, Stepstone Group. Tell us a little bit about more about that, and what's the value that these partners are getting from Navigator?
The current process that we have works with any company to measure their emissions and be able to share that information up via multiple ownership layers, if you like. But what Navigator does is it really starts the journey top down and starts with a desktop analysis that a manager can perform, or any entity that's analyzing a set of companies can perform, to gather a few data points and get the starting point for an estimate of emissions, an estimate of what potential glide paths would look like to be Paris aligned, and also an indication of the typical sources of emissions within those portfolios, those particular sectors included in that portfolio. And that's really the start of your navigation. That's the start of your journey to then gain insight, ask more questions, and be able to focus on the areas that are really going to move the needle in that portfolio.
Obviously, this is the whole ESG sector. We saw this last week at GreenFin. It's evolving. There's been a lot of confusion. There's been a lot of change, a lot of excitement in the space. Maybe last question for you, as you have launched Path Zero and you're really launching into this space. What do you get? What are you most excited about going forward?
I'm really excited about how things are coming together, how industry groups and participants are working together to converge on the metrics and the information that's going to be consistently gathered in portfolios and other spaces and pulled together and analyzed and create that real consistency and transparency within this industry. And of course, the role of technology within that excites me because that's really technology playing to its strength. It's scaling that expertise that we need. It's turning that into software so that it's more accessible, and it's also enabling companies to collaborate in new ways. Data security, the accuracy, etc., all playing very well to technology. So it's a wonderful time to be building software into such a great application.
Yeah, well, that's great. So, Carl Prins, co-founder at and CEO at Path Zero, thanks for joining us on GreenBiz Studio today.
Only a pleasure. Thank you for having me.